Welcome to Financial Issues, where we help you steward faithfully by honoring God with your investments. Now listen in as we give you the practical tools and advice you need to become a biblically responsible investor.
This is Financial Issues, where we help you defund darkness and fund the light by investing with biblical integrity. Welcome to our Friday show, everyone. It is Focus Friday. Seth Udinsky, Sam Case, and your host, Mark Manila. The whole gang's here. Mark, we're ready for a Focus Friday. I can't wait.
Yes, we are. It's Focus Friday, where we focus on your questions. So call in 610-363-1110, 610-363-1110.
And folks, let me just remind you here, apologies, I have to reach down for something here. We have a little giveaway today. We want to do something special. The first 3 callers who
You're like
call
Santa
into
getting into your
that's
sack
right.
there.
Exactly right, Sam. I have like gifts of abundance. First 3 callers to call in today and to get on the air. If you have a question, a comment you want to share with us, we'll give you a copy of Mark's book, The Wall Street Awakening. This is our gift to you. First 3 callers. We want to light up those phone lines. So get in the phone line. We want to get you on the air, and we'll get you a copy of Mark's book. We'll send it to you. It's our gift to you, The Wall Street Awakening. An excellent book. I'm reading through it now myself, Mark, and I'm really enjoying it.
Seth, I'm not mistaken. That's not just any copy. That's a signed copy.
That's right.
From the only Mark Manila.
Let's not forget that. It is a signed copy. So pretty cool stuff.
Collector's item.
Happy to do it. You know, it's a wonderful thing. And hopefully you'll read it too and then pass it on, because it will affect lives.
Amen.
And you don't want
really
people to just put it under glass as their prized possession. That's my signed copy.
As a collector,
right.
This could be worth something when Mark dies.
Absolutely. So first 3 callers
So
today.
now we're going to get a bunch of people wanting me to die. Great.
It's going to go up in value, Mark. No, we don't want that, of course. First 3 callers today, 610-363-1110. You have to come on the air. You have to share, a comment or a question. We'd love to get to help you.
It can't just be, hey, I want the book.
Exactly. That's not your comment. That's right. It has to be something else. 610-363-1110. We'd love to hear from you all today. It is Focus Friday. We will have overtime later in the show. Also, we meant to get this yesterday. We weren't able to get to it. I really want to know if it's possible to be a landlord for as little as $100. We'll find that out today. One of you submitted that question. We'll get to it. But first and foremost, guys, listen, the legacy media.
Small house.
It is a tiny, it's one of those tiny houses, like a dog house. Guys, the legacy media won't tell you about why we haven't had a new oil refinery in 50 years. Left-wing bureaucrats have kept the U.S. behind in energy. The legacy media has hidden this. We're here to tell you why. What's going on here, Sam? We're getting our first oil refinery now in 50 years.
Well, don't put me on the spot to say why, but I can tell you Donald Trump is changing all that, announcing on Tuesday the first new U.S. oil refinery in 50 years. Hard to believe, 50 years. That's going to open in Brownsville, Texas. Trump called the $300 billion project, which is being backed by an Indian energy company, a, quote, massive win that will fuel U.S. markets, strengthen our national security, boost American energy production, deliver billions of dollars in economic impact, and will be the cleanest refinery in the entire world. Now, Mark, that sounds like a pretty good idea. So the question is, if we're getting all that out of this refinery, why has it taken 50 years to do this?
Power. It all comes down to a power grab. Think Al Gore, the green energy movement, all that. That was a big power grab to move power away from the oil companies and the abundant energy companies.
Well,
and
ironically, producing less power, because green energy is not as effective.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So it was a big power grab. It was a way to manipulate everybody and everything so that certain people could rise in power and therefore manipulate monies and everything else. It was huge. And because of that, we had all these regulations put in place by these greenies, and they put it in place just so they could have this power and this money. So that kept us from building refineries. That kept us from building pipelines. That kept us from doing all the things that we now know were a huge mistake, and that the hood was pulled over all of American eyes, and all their all their prophecies, all their calculations, they were lies and misinformation. Now, do I believe we should care for this world? Absolutely. We should use, not abuse. But what they did, it was awful, and it was all for their own power and their own wealth. And for 50 years, we haven't had an oil refinery. And that's one of the reasons we have issues here in the U.S. still. Even if we could pump enough oil for the United States and still be shipping some out, the price of oil would go up in the United States with the rest of the world because we don't have the refineries to take that oil and then turn it into gasoline and kerosene and diesel and the things we need to turn it into. We have to ship it somewhere else to do that still, but not for long.
Mark, it brings up to mind what I think we've seen much of the criticism coming against the green movement in this country. Not only is, that it really can be harmful economically, but also some might argue, and I would give some credence to this, it's actually equally or maybe even more harmful than mining for oil. You talk about all the work that goes into lithium mining for batteries and cars like that.
My gosh, yeah.
It does not do well for the environment.
The left seems to ignore windmills kill the birds.
Exactly,
you can't recycle them. I saw a great picture the other day of Teddy Roosevelt, and it said, "I love the environment, but in a cool way, not the lame Democrat way."
Wow. Yeah. I read something on the construction, what it takes to build one windmill, one power, generator. And it talked about all the steel in it and how much oil. It's like, gallons, tens of gallons of oil in it that has to be changed every so often, just like a car, and all the copper that's mined that goes. And when you add up all the environmental impact to build that, it would take hundreds of years for that energy it creates to supplement that. It's just, there's all sorts of arguments about it. Let's just say that, what a great idea. Let's do all we can to preserve this earth and respect God's creation. But let's be sensible about it. Let's not just hide the numbers and refuse to look at the reality of it all. God calls us to consciousness, not to hysterics, not to silliness. And when it gets that way, somebody's profiting from it. That's the bottom line.
Well said, Mark. Well, in other news, guys, let's move down to the Florida Panhandle for just a moment. Sam, there's been some initiatives going on from Senator Rick Scott. You want to give us the details there? What's going on?
That's right. Last week, Florida Senator Rick Scott, he's proposing a new tax advantage savings account plan. And the idea of this is that every American can use this plan to set aside funds specifically for down payments on their house. So it's kind of like a IRA for saving for a house in a sort of a way. Under Scott's American Dream Accounts Act, that's what it's called, individuals under 35 could contribute up to $7,500 a year, with people over 35 years old being able to go up to $10,000 a year. Couples can combine distributions for up to $500,000 for a home purchase. Non-qualified withdrawals, meanwhile, could face a 10% penalty, like I said, similar to a 401k or a qualified account, other qualified accounts. So my question about this, Mark, is if this plan passes, it's still just kind of an idea out there. Would this be a good option for people if they're trying to save for a home?
It sounds like it might be a good idea, but why? Why pass another law like this? Why don't you just expand the IRA rules?
See, that's why I was thinking when I read this. I was thinking, aren't there kind of already options for this we could build upon?
Yeah, there are for first-time home buyers within an IRA, but this would expand how much you could put in and defer taxes on by $7,500 or $10,000, so that now with the IRA and that, why not just make the IRA a $20,000 a year contribution? You can use it for down payments on house or medical emergencies, just expand the IRA to make it sense. A lot of, I appreciate Rick Scott, what he's trying to do. But it just complicates everything a little bit, I think, instead of just expanding the IRAs. And we don't need to make anything more complicated. We just need to make it simpler. And I think Rick Scott forgets that a lot of people aren't even maxing out their IRAs. So how are they going to afford to now put money in their IRA and a new down payment IRA at the same time? So let's make people's money accessible. If you want people to be able to save for a down payment, tax-free or tax-deferred, let's just build it all in together. That's my idea.
You know what I would
What do you
love?
think?
Mark,
Rick, you want to talk about this?
It'd be great. We get Rick Scott on here. Rick, join us if you want to talk about it. Listen, Mark, when are we going to get a politician who follows through with a promise? I am going to lower taxes. Like, wouldn't that maybe be a solution too? Let's lower taxes a little bit. What a brilliant idea.
Yeah, well, I think Trump's done that, and he's trying to do it again more and more with more ideas. And actually, this Rick Scott, let's be fair, it would lower your taxes because it would be a deductible type of plan.
Sure.
So, it's a good idea. And so is calling into the show, 610-363-1110. Justin, I see you on there. We'll get to you as soon as we come back from the break here. And we have 2 more books lined up for the next 2 callers after that.
Here at Financial Issues, we believe in being faithful stewards of everything God has entrusted to us, and nothing is more important than investing in the next generation. The most meaningful way we can do that is by sharing the hope of salvation with young people, giving them a foundation of truth that can shape the rest of their lives. Crossroads Kids Club is an after-school program that brings the gospel directly to elementary school children in public schools across the country. Week after week, volunteers have the opportunity to build consistent, Christ-centered relationships with kids during some of their most formative years. These aren't just programs, they're life-changing encounters that point children to Jesus and surround them with encouragement, mentorship, and biblical truth. Together, we can make a lasting difference for the kingdom. We can help reach children who may never otherwise hear the good news. If you feel called to be part of sharing the gospel with kids in public schools, visit reachourschools.com. Again, that's reachourschools.com.
Well, I'm going to give a real quick testimony. I've been a partner for 8 years. I count on FISM analysis for my buys and sells. I don't want to be a financial analyst. That's what I'm a partner for.
And we don't want you to have to be a financial analyst.
The Financial Issues Partnership is the best value out there. The analytics you guys do really give me confidence. So thanks for everything, guys. I pray for the ministry every day.
Go to financialissues.org to get started today.
I found out I was pregnant when I was 21 years old. For me, I was scared, I was shaking. They do an ultrasound, and that's when everything changed. When I saw my baby, and when I heard her heartbeat, that was it. We've seen the hand of God ever since we stepped into the pregnancy center.
To find out how you can support the life-saving mission of Preborn, go to preborn.com/FISM.
Folks, give us a call at 610-363-1110. If you are the next caller or the caller after that, you will get a signed copy of Mark's excellent book, The Wall Street Awakening. Be like Justin, Mark, because Justin called in right away, and we're about to get to him.
Justin.
Exactly. And he's going to get his free copy, his signed copy of The Wall Street Awakening. Why don't we go to Justin, Mark, shall we?
Hey, Justin, welcome to Financial Issues. Glad you called in this morning. What's on your mind?
Great, thank you. I would like to talk about a Roth. So I'm ashamed to admit I'm 49 and my first Roth was open last year. So I really
Justin, hang on just a second, brother. Hang on. The fact that you opened it at all, seriously, is a win. It's that old question of when do I start investing? Right now. And so you can certainly have some regret that you didn't start earlier, but the fact that you did it now, it's awesome, man. Don't be discouraged. For real.
Yeah.
Amen.
Great. So here I am now trying to figure out the how and the when. And so last year made quite a bit of money. So I'm starting to, build up accounts. And right now there's a couple high value SEP IRAs. I've got a joint tenant account. I've got a regular IRA account. So I just don't know how to, how much max you can contribute. I don't know what the max amount of income you can make to do that. I just really just need to know about the how and the when on it, and if maybe you'd be able to help me out on that.
Absolutely. And those are good questions. The how to do it, obviously you can contribute every year. I think the maximum amount is $7,000 for your age limit at this point.
It'll be $7,500 for you, Justin, but next year.
For this year.
For this year, that's right. Next year it's going to go up to $8,600 because you'll turn 50, which is great.
Yeah.
So you'll get a little more next year.
So that'll be good. So you could contribute that amount. Now you can convert as much as you want. And at your age, the more you convert, the better, because it gives longer time to grow tax free. You're going to pay a tax on it today, but boy, that'll be covered very quickly by the tax free growth going forward. So one of the things I would highly suggest is convert as much as you can, as often as you can, without taking you into, hurting you with taxes, I guess would be the way to say. You're always going to have to pay taxes. Remember, if you don't convert it, you're going to have to pay it when you're not making good money, when you're relying on the money in your accounts to get you through because you've retired. So when's the best time to pay taxes? Now when you're working and you have steady income coming in, or later when you're retired and the only income you have is from your portfolio?
And based on trajectory, Mark, when taxes will probably be higher.
Yeah.
Right now they're lower, right?
Yeah. So,
the idea is, I was going to ask, the idea might be to convert when you're in a lower tax bracket, because my tax bracket's going to lower significantly in 2027. So would it make sense to maybe do it at that time?
Absolutely. If you have a projection, if you know that's what's going to happen, there's no reason not to wait till 2027. I mean, we're only talking about 6 months or 9 months. So yeah, why not wait if you're going to lower it by 10, 20%, the taxes on it? Absolutely. Yeah, I like that. I can go with that. I think that would be a good plan.
Well, thank you.
Well, you're welcome.
Thank
and
you,
Justin, do we have your email and address? Because I want to send you a book, The Wall Street Awakening, and it's a really interesting book. The first half of it is like a devotional, and it prepares the heart for stewardship, investment stewardship. Then the second half deals with real world ideas, kind of the wise as a serpent part of it. And it prepares the mind to help you be a steward in this world, which you wouldn't do if you already hadn't prepared the heart. So I'm sorry, I'm getting a little hoarse.
Yes, I'll be giving it away. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Oh, well, praise God.
Good, Justin. Appreciate you, brother. Yeah, Justin, why don't you stay on the line with Darlene, and we'll make sure to get your address for that signed copy. God bless, brother.
Thank you. Bless you all.
And God bless. And with that said, why don't we go to Luana?
Let's do this, Mark. It looks like Luana's still getting her question in with Darlene right now, so she'll be ready in just a moment. While we're waiting for that, though, Mark, I thought that it was real fascinating. I've heard you say most people don't realize that when the media talks about inflation, it's primarily political, and it's only half the formula, too. The mainstream media seldom, if ever, shares the other half. What a surprise, Mark, right? The mainstream media loves us so much. What is the other half? Why is this so important?
Well, you remember with inflation during Biden, it was always like, well, it's not that bad. It's bad, but it's not that bad.
Exactly
but then
right.
With Trump, it's like inflation will come in pretty good, and it will say, well, it's not as much as we thought. It didn't cool off as much as we thought. So it's always
it's a political hammer is what it really is most of the time. Yes, it does affect us, and we'll talk more about that some other time. But that, like I said, that's only half of the formula. The other half is real wage growth. That term, how many times have you heard that? Probably in the last 6 months, we've used it at least once a month. But prior to that, I've never heard it on the news. Real wage growth. And what that is that's how much your wage, the average American's hourly wage grows over inflation. So if inflation is 2% and your real wage growth is 2.5, you are making more, your wages are growing faster than inflation, so effectively you're getting ahead of the game. And why is this important? Think about this. Let's just be ridiculous and go back to the Carter years when inflation hit 19%. Now, a lot of people didn't know that. That wouldn't even matter if the real wage growth was 20%, because you'd be making 1% more in income than the depreciation of dollar or their loss of purchasing power because of inflation. So effectively, you would be ahead of the game. So what we always need to watch when we hear an inflation number, we need to go back and say, yeah, but what's real wage growth here? And when we do that, like we've been doing here since the beginning of the Trump reign here for the last year, we've seen real wage growth actually 1.5% higher than the inflation rates. So effectively, as the media keeps telling you, well, inflation rate is 2.5%, and it's not coming down as hard as we thought it was going to be, and all this kind of stuff. First of all, the inflation rate being 2.5%. Did you know that's the norm?
But it's higher than the Fed's goal, Mark.
Did you know that's the norm? Right. That's the point. That's the average rate of inflation for the last 30 years is 2.5%. And the Feds never did get their 2%, and we'll talk about that sometime. Why does the Fed want 2% inflation instead of 0? We'll talk about that sometime too. But we have real wage growth of higher than that by 1 to 1 by 0.5 to 1.5% this time as well. So we got to take that into fact. Don't let them brainwash you into thinking affordability is the issue, because affordability isn't the issue. It's your real wage growth, and thank God we got an administration in there that's helping that grow.
Well said, Mark. 610-363-1110. Folks, get into the call queue. You'll get your signed copy of Mark's book, The Wall Street Awakening. Mark, let's talk to Luana. She's ready now from Illinois.
Let's do that. Luana, welcome to Financial Issues. Glad you're with us.
Hi, thanks. And thanks for explaining that real wage growth by saying that 3 times.
Hard to say, isn't it?
Yeah.
I have to check myself every time I say that. I'll start sounding like Bugs Bunny.
Yeah. So what I really wanted to find out is about the fractional shares when you can't get a share for the full price. And how can I go about doing that one?
Okay, most brokerage platforms have fractional shares. If you want to do that, some call it slices, some call it fractional. Yeah. There's different terms on the different platforms. But here's a thought, and I don't want to stop you from doing that. It's always good. You know, you might want to buy a part of a stock and because you like that stock, you believe it honors God, and you believe it has really good potential. But here's a thought. If you're buying fractional shares because your portfolio is small and it can't afford to buy full shares in lots of 10 or 20 or 50, then maybe it would be a better idea to use ETFs so you can get the diversification you need. And there's a good chance that the stock you're trying to buy will be in one of those ETFs. Like, you know, maybe it's a tech stock that you want to buy that is clean, biblically clean, you know, where we see evaluator services saying it meets the biblical standards that most Christians would hold true. It's probably in one of the Timothy Plans ETFs, either the small cap, small mid, or the large mid. And then you not only get that in there, but you get a part of every other stock that's in there, which gives you some diversification. So like right now, we're seeing the financial industry starting to pull back, where a lot of money poured into it as money moved out of the software industry. But now the financial industry is pulling back. Where is it going to go? If it's going to cash, that's a very defensive perspective, but it may just be going into another industry, and probably if you held the ETFs, it'd be going into some of those stocks that you hold. So that would be my suggestion, is use exchange traded funds instead of individual stocks.
Yeah.
If you have to. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was looking at the TE10 because that one's pretty big number to try to get in there. And if I were going to do that, then how could I to find it with the Timothy, you know, looking at them to see what they hold? I don't know how to
Yeah,
do
you
that.
go out to timothyplain.com, look at the ETFs, and they give you a list of top 10 holdings, but you can go deeper with the prospectus and other areas, and they will show everything. Quarterly, they show everything that they hold within it. So you could do that if you want. You're going to leave your email and your address. So what we could do is we could do that for you. Be happy to do a little research. Sam is really good at that.
Sure is.
Watch out.
So what we could do is find out which ETF it's in, if it's in any of them, and then get that back to you. How's that sound?
That sounds great. Thank you.
Well, we'd be honored to do that for you, Luana.
I'd be happy.
Thank you for
Thank you.
thank you for calling in, and God bless you for wanting to be biblically responsible in all you do, including your investments. And thank all of you who are listening right now. Number 610-363-1110. We have one more book to give away for the next caller. You might want to try and get in the queue during this break. 610-363-1110. This is Focus Friday. We're focused on you and your questions. Give us a call and join the party.
My baby was like this big. He's like this tiny little spectrum of hope and this unnamed beauty, in a sense. It was poetic. And I saw his heart beating on the screen. And I mean, I went from, I don't want this baby, it's just a fetus, it's just cells put together, to talking to my child on the screen, and feeling really protective, and knowing that there's life growing inside. I mean, that sonogram changed my life. I went from just Candace to mom. I'm a mom.
To find out how you can support the life-saving mission of Preborn, go to preborn.com/FISM.
Before investing.
Hey folks, folks, really quick, Mark, I just wanted to mention this for anyone else who was wondering. Luana, our last caller, had asked about TE10. TE10 is involved in TPLC. It's one of the holdings in TPLC. So if you're interested in holding that one, but you're not so sure about buying it at its price or anything like that, just buy some of TPLC and you'll have some exposure to it. Pretty cool stuff.
There you go.
Love those ETFs,
excellent.
Mark. Yep.
Me too.
Absolutely. 610-363-1110. We still got one more book to give away, folks, so you're going to want to get in the call queue right now.
Push and shove.
Get it.
Get
That's
to the
right.
phone.
Get to the front of the line. 610-363-1110. Get a signed copy of Mark's book. All right, Mark, here's a real good question for you, and I'm so excited we're finally getting to it. Jeanette is 64, and she says, hey, Mark, I saw online about an opportunity to be a landlord for as little as $100. That sounds fun. That's what I said. I said that sounds fun. She didn't say that. I believe it's called Arrived, and the concept is that you buy shares on a rental property and then you receive dividends. Is this a legitimate company? If it's a legitimate company, would it be biblically responsible? I believe she found it on another financial radio show. Mark, what do you think about this?
Well, it's a great question, actually, and it sounds so enticing, doesn't it? I can be a landlord for $100. I don't have to be, a multimillionaire to get into real estate. So, yeah, it's a real company. Fractional real estate is not uncommon. These things have come and gone over time. Investors purchase small shares of rental properties. So effectively, what they do is they have a house, let's say it's a $500,000 house, and they raise the money with a minimum of $100 to go into it. You could add money to it, and you become one of the many owners into it. So you can buy small shares of the rental property, and then rental income is distributed as dividend payments. So as that house rents out and the money comes on, they want a minimum of $100 to do that. So this company is legitimate. It's almost like a crowdfunding or a private REIT. It's legitimate, but that doesn't automatically make it a wise stewardship investment. Let me share some thoughts to you. The average dividend yield that I found on it is about, a little under 4%. Now, that's about what you could get in a money market with no risk whatsoever. And then when you consider the risk, money markets have no risk, and they're highly liquid. This has the risk that you may not be able to get your money out. We just saw in a couple of REITs recently where they halted redemptions and as many people tried to get more and more money out. So also you have the risk that it won't rent. Think about it. Let's just say, I think what I read was they have a 6-month holding period that your money has to be in there minimum. And then there's no guarantee it can come out after that. There's language in their documents that say that they can only do partial redemptions if there's over redemptions requested and things like that. So the sale depends on the buyer demand. If there's not buyers that are willing to put money into this house, then you can't get your money out. And then there's transaction fees that may apply, dividend uncertainty due to vacancies, eviction, major maintenance issues, property's not ready to rent, income may be delayed or moved into reserve. I mean, there's all sorts of things. And then when I looked at the idea of how much of the rent was going to you, it really was less than 50% on some of these. And at the best, it was only like 66% of the rent. The rest went to them, I guess, to maintain their loans and all the management and the profits. Right. So I'm not so sure this is a great idea. It may not be a bad idea, but if I was going to get into real estate, I think I would do it a different way, since there's so many gotchas in this and the return isn't really that great.
Mark,
that's my thoughts on it.
Tell me what you think of this analogy. And Jeanette, maybe, hopefully this can, be helpful for you, or maybe it'll just be more confusing, but I'm going to go for it anyway. When you're interested in someone and you're attracted to them, you're dating someone, there are certain things that are only reserved for marriage. If you do those things outside of marriage, it's not going to go well for you. It goes against what God says.
Where is this going?
Mark, thank you. I was I'm getting scared.
Here's
What's
what I'm
happening?
saying. If you want to be a real estate investor, you can't really do it the easy way. You have to be willing to be able to say, I'm going to be up late at night if someone calls.
No.
Would you say that?
No, I wouldn't agree with that at all. No, there's real estate investment trusts that you can get into. There's other ways to do it.
Mark, that's what I was going to ask. Well, couldn't you just do REITs instead of doing this?
Would a REIT be the option, Mark? I guess is that really?
It could be. You just want to make sure it's a good REIT in the lane that you want to be in, that kind of thing. This is scary because I made like 4 little notes on this to summarize it. The company is likely legitimate. The returns appear very modest. Risk and liquidity limitations are meaningful, meaning there's a lot of risk and liquidity limitations, and often better stewardship options exist out there with clearer ownership and transparency. So bottom line, I'd stay away from it.
Well said,
there are better things out there.
Absolutely.
And with that said,
Mark, if someone, let me just ask this, getting back to what I said earlier. If someone wants to do, like for real, being a real estate investor where you are going out, you're buying properties, you're managing them, is that easy or is that hard? That seems a little bit harder.
It's very hard, especially for elderly people.
Exactly. And so
especially for elderly people.
That's more the point that I was getting at with this.
Yeah, I get it.
If Jeanette wants to do that, there's hard work that goes into that.
Right, and there's a lot of responsibility. I've had several widows that they were clients. Them and their husbands were clients of mine, and then the husbands passed away. The widows were left with multi-unit buildings and mowing the lawn and taking care of all this.
Fixing
and they're like, I can't do this. Yeah, I can't do all this, and I can't afford to hire somebody to do it. What do I do? So there is a lot involved in that, and so good point on that. Though,
so I guess you can't. It might not be the best idea to be a landlord for as little as $100. Then
I'm uncomfortable with this organization at this time.
Sure.
Yeah,
sure.
And with that said, your cardboard box.
There you go, $100 cardboard.
With that said, let's go to Patty here. Patty, welcome to Financial Issues. Glad you're with us today. What's on your mind?
Well, I'm facing a birthday in a few days. In fact, I started watching on Seth's birthday. I don't remember when that was.
That's awesome.
I started watching on Seth's birthday, and my family was like, what do you want for your birthday? And I'm like, you guys, I don't need anything. And I'm like, okay, I want a partnership with FISM. And so,
that's so cool.
Well,
coming up.
Since it was Seth's birthday that you started watching on, Seth, tell her how someone can gift her a partnership.
Yeah, Patty, it's super easy. Now, are you asking for a partnership like as a gift, or are you saying you want to get started as a partner and you're trying to figure out how?
Yes, I Tuesday morning over breakfast, we plan to sign up for my partnership. Now, will it be with me and my husband? Do we do that together?
Awesome. It absolutely can be. Yep. Okay. It's just make sure that you have an email address that you guys share, and that's what you guys will use for it. But yeah, absolutely. No, it's great.
So share with them how to do that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Seth?
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah, Patty. So it's super easy. So you just sorry, Mark. I thought you were talking to Patty to tell Patty to share with her husband how to do that. So Patty, just go. It's very easy. You go to financialissues.org. There's a button in the top right-hand corner. It says "Become a Partner." It's like the easiest thing. You cannot miss it. Click on that, and you'll follow the steps to go through. You'll make the $132 payment, and then you'll get an email just giving kind of more details into getting your partnership set up. There's instructional videos. There's all sorts of things that can be helpful for you. But man, Patty, that's so exciting. That's so exciting.
Yeah, we're glad to have you on board, Patty. Thank you.
That's awesome.
And to celebrate that, ding, 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 you're caller number 3. So you get a signed Wall Street Awakening book. So make sure you leave your address and all so we can get it shipped out to you.
Patty, I'll just ask you this too, Mark. Hope it's okay to do this, but is there anything that we can help you with right now, even as you're figuring things out, kind of what you want to do when it comes to managing your money in a way that honors God?
Yes. You know what? I love that question. Thank you. I'm holding in my hands right now Randy Alcorn's book, Money, Possessions, and Eternity, that Mark recommended. And
great book, isn't it?
It's a little overwhelming to hold in my hand right now. I am going to be 64 this Tuesday. So I feel maybe a little late to this game. And again, this book seems a little overwhelming just at a glance.
Patty, I will tell you, it feels that way. Yeah, okay. That'll help. But the book isn't really overwhelming. It's well written. It's easy to read, and he repeats himself a lot. Good. Yeah, so what you'll find it's actually easy to read. But if you don't want to read the whole thing, he actually came out with another book, and it's called Managing God's Money. It's a little bit smaller, and it's more of it's like he took out a lot of the repetition in money possessions, his previous book. So you might want to pick that up, Managing God's Money.
That's awesome.
Okay.
Hey, you know, Patty, let's do this. Let's hold on to you because I can sense you might have a follow-up question. We'll hold you over into this break here, and we can answer your other question on the other side. Sound good? Why don't we do that?
Let's do that. And for the rest of you, get in the queue, 610-363-1110. That's 610-363-1110. We'd love to hear your question. Love you to join the party here with Seth, Sam, and myself as we talk about everything financial from a biblical perspective.
Here at Financial Issues, we believe in being faithful stewards of everything God has entrusted to us, and nothing is more important than investing in the next generation. Crossroads Kids Club is an after-school program that brings the gospel directly to elementary school children in public schools across the country. These aren't just programs, they're life-changing encounters that point children to Jesus and surround them with encouragement, mentorship, and biblical truth. If you feel called to be part of sharing the gospel with kids in public schools, visit reachourschools.com.
In the last 10 to 15 years being in ministry, being married, something that has been constant in our lives is Samaritan Ministries. As we've moved, we've had babies, we've had different things come up, we have just been able to rely on Samaritan in ways that we never really even thought about before becoming members.
Our heart's desire is to plant roots and be in a place for a really long time. It's how we were raised. We see the benefits of that, but we also see the open-handedness of being used by the Lord wherever He calls, because we just assumed when we started pursuing church planting, the quickest way to get from point A to point B is a straight line. And with the Lord, sometimes you find out it looks a lot more like this. And yet, Samaritan was with us through the entire thing.
We didn't have to look into, we have to change insurances now because we've moved states or whatever the case may be. And it's just been a real blessing to us in different phases of life.
I'm Kyle.
I'm Colleen.
We're the Gen X.
And we're Samaritan members.
Did you know that an unborn baby's heart beats at an average of 120 times every minute? That steady rhythm, that precious sound, that's the sound of life. Preborn partners with local pregnancy clinics across the nation to help mothers choose life, providing free ultrasounds, counseling, and the gospel of Jesus Christ. To give, just dial pound 250 and say the keyword baby. That's pound 250 baby.
The opinions and recommendations expressed on this program do not necessarily represent the opinions of the station or any of the program sponsors. Additionally, all products or services offered by the program sponsors may not be known by the program.
Folks, give us a call, 610-363-1110. It's been a great Focus Friday. And by the way, overtime up next. Don't miss it. Get on financialissues.org/watch or the app or any of our social streams, and you can join us for overtime. You know, Mark, I've neglected to mention that we are trying to give hilariously, easy for me to say, with Crossroads Kids Club.
That's your warm-up for the day. You need to say that five times
I've been warming up for 45 minutes, and it's still a warm-up. Now, Mark, tell us a little bit. Why are we doing this campaign with Crossroads Kids Club, Easter cards?
Because we love God's children, and this organization, Crossroads Kids Club, is reaching out, going to where the children are, presenting the gospel, opening up these kids clubs at our public schools. And it's just incredible to see, as you can see on the screen. This is exactly what it's like, because I went to a couple of these. I saw what was going on, and they really teach the gospel. They really teach the Bible. It's a wonderful thing. So a lot of these children, this is the only place they're hearing this. Their families may not be Christian, or they may not have any religion at all, or they may have some religion that maybe has taken them away from Christ at this point. So here's a way that you can encourage and you can just help these children to know Christ more. You write a little message out you go out to the site, you write a little message. The Kids Club people translate that into handwriting. They handwrite each of your messages on a Easter card and deliver them personally at these Kid Clubs meetings. So these kids get these Easter cards, and we all love getting cards, right? So they're lifted up there, and then your encouragement or the gospel you put in there or whatever you put in there to encourage and lift them up is a great thing. And maybe that last little seed needed to bring them to Christ. Amen. Wouldn't that be awesome?
Be awesome.
Yeah. You know what I love about Crossroads too is it's just their faith. They have the faith to go where so many Christians have written off. They've written off public schools as a lost cause. And Crossroads is saying, no, we're not content with that. We serve a massive, massive God who can do all things. And even if public schools themselves are lost, the children aren't. They don't need to be lost. We're going to do something.
And they don't do it themselves. They find churches in the area of the public schools, and they come alongside the churches, help them to understand how to do it. They equip them, they train them, and then the churches provide the people and the resources to go do that. And they don't charge the church anything for that, which is incredible. Just a wonderful organization, that is impacting children's lives in so many ways.
Yeah, it really is, Mark. ReachOurSchools.com, folks. That's the place you can go to. If you go to ReachOurSchools.com right now, you'll see there's some text there explaining what this is. And then scroll down a little bit and you'll see the text box where you can write your Easter card. It doesn't have to be long. It'll take you 5 minutes, about how long mine took. But just, put a little thought into it, write that. And then Crossroads takes care of turning it into a physical card that ends up being an Easter gift for a child in a public school. It's really cool.
And if you're watching on the website right now, you can also just click the banner right on the top. That will also take you where you need to go.
Awesome. Speaking of things on the website, guys, TrumpAccountsForAll.com. Every single listener must sign that petition right now. If you don't have to stop listening to the show. Just go to TrumpAccountsForAll.com while you're listening to the show and sign the petition right now. We want to get thousands.
That little code on the screen there.
Thank
you,
Mark.
Get your phone out. Just click on that, and it'll take you out to the petition. And then you can sign the petition. Then go to the bottom of the petition, and there's a button to share it on any social media. You could then share that petition with hundreds and thousands of people so we can get tens of thousands signatures. So when we take it to DC, we can sit down and say, hey, we love what you're doing with these kids' accounts. Could you just write into that there will be options for Christians to be able to participate too by having a biblically responsible index in there, like something from the Timothy plan.
Well said, Mark. 610-363-1110. Folks, we've got this segment. We've got overtime, but just get in right now. Get into the queue. 610-363-1110. Mark, let's get to Sherry's question here. Sherry's saying, hey, Mark, I purchased PNR back in August of 2025. I don't know if I put in the wrong stock selection because I can't find it on the broad list, which tells me I probably did put the wrong stock selection in. Should I sell it or should I wait until it's at its 1 year mark and then sell it? What should you do, Mark?
You know, Sherry, one of the nightmares I used to have as I was managing millions of dollars in portfolios is that I would put in the wrong symbol one day and buy literally millions of dollars worth of something that I didn't want to buy for hundreds of accounts. And
right,
good thing is
that's for clients' money, right, Mark?
Yeah, that never happened. That never happened. But it was a nightmare I'd have. Luckily for you, PNR is currently screening clean, and I say PNR because that's probably what you put in instead of what you wanted to put in. It's also has decent strength against its peers, against the market. It pays a small dividend. It has turned negative as far as returns on 3.6, which is not good, but it's not a bad play overall. It has some good signs, but I'm not sure it has the long-term steel we'd look for at Financial Issues. So at least not right now. If I were in your shoes, Sherry, I'd sell it and move into something on the buy list. and that's the direction I would go. Absolutely. That happens sometimes. Just be careful. Always check when you're out on your platform, it's always good. They give you multiple times, they say, they'll present the order that you put in, and you might want to just take the time to review it, because sometimes you could get into a real dog, or you can get in the wrong place, and you don't want to do that.
Absolutely. So, and Mark, this is just another aspect of Sherry's question too. She's committed to selling it in August. You might as well sell it now, because who knows what's going to happen to it it might get worse. It could get better, but it might get worse. I agree with you. I'd just sell it now. Sell it now and get into something on the buy list.
There's some that on the buy list that I think that you might like. Yeah. Just go out to the buy list, and they have good returns. They have good dividends and things like that. So go ahead out to the buy list, sell that, and just buy something else.
Go take a gander, as I like to say.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Look at some of those. IN11, IN23, one of those ones, Sherry, might be worth it for you to look at. Yep. Mark, let's get to another question.
IN85.
IN85. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
This next one we have, Mark, is from James. He's 69. He says, hey, Mark, industrial P6 just dropped almost 50% last week. It's on the buy list as a buy. Would you still consider it a buy at this time? I'm thinking about doubling down. Mark, I like James' thought there about doubling down. It's an interesting question. What do you think?
Seth, how many questions have we gotten about P6 in the last couple of weeks?
We've
that's a contentious that's a contentious holding, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it's really important to understand the sudden drop. A 40 to 50% drop in a single week always gets attention, believe me. The key question is whether the business changed or just the stock price. Sometimes markets can just overreact in the short term.
No, they would never do that, Mark.
Especially with smaller industry companies. So looking at the fundamentals, it still has strong earnings momentum. Its earnings grew at 120% in the past year. Forecast earnings around 16, 17%. Balance sheet improvements. Debt to equity has reduced dramatically over the last 5 years. Let's see. We got net debt to equity around 30%, which is reasonable. Debt covered by operating cash flow. Interest coverage is strong at more than 14 times earnings before interest and taxes. So why did this drop? Why this drop? I think it might create opportunity. Market fear can disconnect price from fundamentals, the bottom line. If operations have not changed, the lower price can improve the investment opportunity, just like you were talking about. Sometimes the stock becomes more attractive after the drop than before. So, stewardship requires discernment, and I think you're having some discernment moment here by thinking about it like you're doing, the idea of doubling down on it. So avoid any emotional decisions, both panic selling and reckless buying, and just use biblical wisdom. And right now, since the company's fundamentals haven't changed and it looks like that this is a better buy than it was a few weeks ago, why not go ahead and start dollar cost averaging into it?
Absolutely. And Mark, I think it's important to remember with this stock, it is a growth play. We have to be careful just, using that excuse for any time a stock goes down, but it is a growth play. It's an aggressive one. It's going to go up and down. That will happen. And as we saw in the last 2 weeks, especially those high growth, high investment plays, they were going up and down pretty extremely. Right?
Yeah, and we're in like we talked about from the beginning of the year here, and emphasized even more near the end of February, we're in a time where the market's volatility, the bandwidth of that is going to get wider and wider until it starts normalizing. Well, it's not normalizing because we still have geopolitical issues. We have all sorts of things going on. It's an election year. There's just so much there that is causing people to have emotional anxiety, even in the markets, that we're going to see it bounce up and down, up and down. So, but I like your thought. I like where you're headed. I think you're thinking straight. God bless you for that. And God bless you for being a biblically responsible investor. We love our listeners. We love our partners. We love that you love God. And we love that you invest with biblical integrity. Usually I'd say see you tomorrow or see you Monday, but I'll see you in about 30 seconds as we go into overtime. Stay with us. Get the phones ready, 610-363-1110, 610-363-1110, and we'll be right back with you.
If we ever forget that we're one nation under God, then we will be a nation gone under.
Thank you for joining us. This has been an FISM production.